Hey everyone, James Azar here with CyberHub Engage. We are at the Unbound booth today for our Friday wrap-up. It is Thursday afternoon here at RSA. I'm sitting with my good, amazing, wonderful, knowledgeable, I'd have to say even better looking in real life than on video.
Or even better looking than you.
We'll put that out for a vote.
Yeah.
Kind of wrapping up RSA.
Well, the main thing is we've learned how not to shake hands.
We've learned to rub elbows this year at RSA.
Yep.
We've also learned that there's a lot more lounge areas.
There is a lot more lounge areas, and in fact, a number of them have been provided by companies who aren't here.
Yes, IBM has a scan-free zone.
Yeah,
AT&T left no reminiscent of their existence.
Yep.
Verizon has left no reminiscent of their existence. It's been very, very interesting.
Yes, it's been. I think there's been overall. I think I heard there's 7,000 people less than last year, so we're on about 43,000 people here. But I don't think we've missed these ones that haven't turned up.
I miss anyone who isn't here.
Well, that could be said, yeah. But
you know,
I don't think the show itself has been affected by it too much.
Well, they didn't lose any of their keynotes.
Yeah.
They didn't lose any of their main speakers, right?
They didn't lose me as a speaker.
They didn't lose you as a speaker, which was very important. I mean, it was you, Director Krebs, Director, NSA Director Nakasone was here walking the floor yesterday.
The astronaut, the first female head of the Space Corps gave a lovely talk earlier. She was great, so that was really good.
A bunch of generals are here talking.
Oh, I haven't seen those.
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, those guys obviously come and go as they please, but it's been great. But kind of summarizing this week, it's been really interesting. So every single major outlet is here. Yep. So a predominant number of the headlines are all around conversations being had at RSA. There have been a few headlines that are eye-opening and mind-boggling. And I want to talk about one of those, because to me, this demonstrates the need for resources at a local government perspective. So one of the stories I reported on this morning on Thursday's daily cyber briefing was police stations who are having to drop charges against suspects of crime because they suffer a ransomware attack and they're unable to get the evidence that they need in order to essentially take the charges into trial. And so in Florida, they've had to, the Stewart Police Department had to release 6 suspects of serious drug charges, including the manufacturing of drugs, the solicitation of drugs, and so forth. Those guys walked scotch-free because of a ransomware attack. How do we... Hello? This is like now... We're like letting criminals just come out of jail. What do we need to do better, Nigel?
I mean, this relates to my favorite quote of the conference was actually from Susan Landau, and she gave she was in a panel session, and she was talking about the difference with the way the NSA deals with modern security and the difference with the way, say, the FBI deals with modern security. And this was about the control of encryption. And so she was saying that basically the NSA have moved on, they've accepted the world in the 21st century as it is, and so have all the other security services around the world. But the FBI and all of the normal police investigation, wherever you are on the planet, are trying to deal with the 21st century world with a 20th century point of view, with a 20th century mindset. And I think that's true of the encryption debate at the moment, but it's also true of the thing you were talking about, because it's about the police and the criminal justice system. They're kind of not got the capability to deal with the modern world as it is. They're kind of still stuck with 20th century techniques, 20th century viewpoints, 20th century
in the 21st century.
And they're in the 21st century.
And it's amazing. I was walking around here and talking to different people. I don't see law enforcement here. And our
There's
friends on the FBI, I was talking to them earlier today. They're great. They're very, very friendly. We were talking about a bunch of different breaches that were going on, and the FBI subpoenas for cyber and how people freak out when they get them. Yeah. And then there's, but you don't see local law enforcement here.
Yeah.
You don't see really local governments here.
That's true. But you also, I think it's because the companies come here because there's now a lot of incentives on them. We've got GDPR making it important that they have security.
We're in America. We're not in Europe. I just want to remind you where you are.
GDPR. I would just like to point out
GDPR doesn't really.
That we're Europeans and therefore we dictate the rules to the rest of the world. And
I disagree with you, but that's okay. California dictates all the laws to America with CCPA.
That's true. Yeah. But why has California got that? Is because Europe's got GDPR. So you have the GDPR, you have the Californian laws.
The Socialist Democratic Republic of California is definitely following the Socialist Republic of the European Union.
That's fine, because I'm happy living in the Socialist Republic of the European Union. Yeah, and then it was, as I now live in Europe rather than the fascist state of the United Kingdom. Anyway.
Did you just call the UK fascist?
Yeah. But I mean, this is what's the law? Godwin's law, isn't it? The internet law. Everything gets. You have this debate, and then everything goes down to you call the opponent fascist. Anyway,
Wow.
But anyway, we're moving
UK
away.
is the symbol of freedom.
But you're American, didn't you? Rebel against them
We
in
did.
1777.
We did, but let me tell you, when I'm sad and I'm down on my luck, I YouTubed the UK Parliament and I just watched Parliament members go at it. It's better than any Netflix special. It's
like Game of Thrones, but in the real world, yeah?
Right.
Yeah.
You realize that's what we gave up for our Congress? No, let's switch Congress to a UK Parliament. Can you imagine our Congress right now debating the way that the UK Parliament debates? I'd love to see AOC go at it with
Doug
Collins.
Do you know why the UK Parliament has that gap between one set and the other? There's a definite distance between the two sides facing each other. It's the length of two swords. So they physically, if they keep behind their lines, they can't have a sword fight in the House of Commons.
Are swords allowed in the House of Commons?
Probably, yeah, because, it's Britain, so therefore the rules are we were talking about the police being in the 20th century, and now, we're talking about Britain being 18th century.
Well, you called Britain fascist.
Yeah, okay, so maybe that's mid-20th century.
Yeah, I wouldn't call Britain fascist. I mean, I can't believe I'm defending the Queen.
Yeah, okay.
So, kind of going back into this week's topics, one of the bigger topics here, calling UK fascist, is
election security. Everything think is about election security. There was a big thing from Microsoft with election security. There's been a load of talks on social media influencing elections, how technology is being used to suppress the vote by just, psychological warfare put on people. And there's been some really, really interesting stuff going on. And also how people can automate to stop bad actors influencing elections around the world.
So earlier this week, we partnered with our friends over at Synac, and they're actually offering free pen testing services through their crowdsourced platform to any municipality in the U.S. to test their election security. So I wanted to mention that on our daily cyber briefing. One, they're not your direct competitor, so it doesn't really matter, but number one. But number two, that's a really great initiative. I didn't see anyone else here have initiatives around election security.
There was a meeting. So Microsoft, I can't remember what it's called, is the new, I can't remember what the phrase, they've got a program for
I'm sure they do. They have a program for everything.
They have a program for election security, and there was a big meeting on this on Wednesday, I think it was, Wednesday afternoon, which, alas, I couldn't go to. But there has been a number of not the major vendors. On the floor, you don't see much about it. Actually, in the main conference, in the talks and everything, there's been a lot more.
When you look at some of the talks around election security, one of I think the common you spoke about it is the social media influence, because I don't see someone trying, the machines and the way elections are run in the U.S. is every county picks their own machines and picks their own way of kind of doing this. It's almost impossible, and I say almost impossible, to hack the elections.
Yeah.
Almost.
But the point is so there's two things to election security. One is actually physically hacking the election, which, Certainly in the US, Ron Rivers was talking about this in the cryptographers panel on Tuesday, is that things are getting better. We're having paper audits here and checking that the vote has been actually counted correctly. So that seems to be a lot better. We're not having any dimple chads, it seems, anymore. But there's the other aspect of election security is actually the propaganda influence on the population. That if you have very small margins in certain states, but by just simply micro-targeting people the way that the media giants currently micro-target for your ads on Facebook or your ads on Google, doing exactly the same thing, but targeting towards elections, that can actually have a major effect. And you don't actually have to spend that much money, and you can really destabilize countries doing that.
So So I was speaking about election security earlier this week on One American News Network, and one of the things we were talking about was, this whole news this week about Russia trying to influence, or Russian trolls are supporting Bernie, or they're supporting President Trump, and they want Bernie versus Trump, or whatever the case may be. And so
I think it's just so discord. It doesn't actually matter who they're for or against.
Well, they did that in the UK, right? Their whole idea of what Russia tries to do is sow discord, right?
Yeah.
Create chaos.
Yeah.
This side versus that side. Divide.
Yeah.
Right? And one of the things in walking the floor here is, when we talk election security, I hear a lot about securing machines, but no one's really talking about the social media effect. What are ways we can really help kind of identify the social media piece?
At RSA this year has been the human factor. It's not about just securing the machines. We actually have to secure the human. And I think this is going to be, if we're looking at trends, I think the RSA conference has really picked on a key thing here. We can secure machines, but the weak point is often the human. So we really need to start thinking about how we secure the human, how we protect the human from bad influences, and actually allow the human to make free will. So if your free will's taken away from you, you're no longer free. So this is a kind of an important thing.
So I've been here. There's some people around here that are AI enabled, fake news identifiers. We can discover if something is fake by our really, really smart AI. So then you ask a probing question, like, how does your AI identify fake news? You know what the look I get, Nigel? Yeah, like Roz's face right now. Like, he's like, well, it's AI.
Yeah, it's magic.
It's magic.
It's magic. It's like
it's fascinating. It's the one thing I think our industry has been really good at doing is we identify endpoint security, we identify cryptography, we identify everyone here's got the next gen DLP. It's really amazing. I was walking the floor earlier today, and it's like I could literally, if I did just a shot of everything here and then I keyworded it, it'd be down to 10 keywords. Whole conference.
Zero trust. I mean, everything's zero trust. It's like every single.
You agree?
Yeah.
Right?
It's like, I think if you went around here, I think every fourth booth have zero trust on it. And
zero trust.
What? Do you know what? I have
next gen.
Do you know
next
what?
gen.
Next gen zero trust. No, I really have zero trust in these companies. Why would you kind of want to put on your thing zero trust? Really?
It's fascinating. I got to tell you, I'm so happy this year I didn't have my CISO badge on. Right? I came as press, and I love it because I'm ignored.
Yeah.
Like, I'm ignored unless someone's a marketing person. Then they go, oh, Press, do you want to interview someone from our group? And I'm like, no. Obviously, you don't watch my channel. How about you watch my channel, then realize that we don't really talk about the next greatest thing, because there is no next greatest thing. There's building a security program.
Yeah.
And like Unbound, key management is one aspect of managing a security program.
Yeah.
The RSA has an announcement to make.
And that's probably the announcement that it's shut. This is the end.
That's it. It's 3 o'clock.
And everyone's applauding us.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. For the thousands and thousands of CyberHub Engage fans. we're going to let him finish saying what he's saying. It's like, you're trying to talk on the phone when you're on a flight, and then the captain comes on and he goes, hey, everyone from the cockpit, this is your captain and my co-pilot, and we're going to be cruising up to 38,000 feet.
Be actually like you're on the train and you just go, I'm on the phone.
Have you gone to the sandbox upstairs?
Yeah.
Did you do the flight simulator?
No, I didn't.
You should. I crashed into the ocean trying to land at SFL like 3 times in a row. I tried to do a Captain Sully too. I'm like, full flaps, They were like, don't you want to land on the runway? I was like, I got to do this Captain Sully, man. I was like, if I do this Captain Sully perfectly, like, I want to get recognized here for doing this. I killed the entire, and it's a British Airway A320. I kept thinking of you every time.
I'm going to imagine
I was like,
that
if
whilst
Nigel
I'm on
was
the
just
British
sitting in the back of the plane.
When I'm on the British
God
Airways
damn it,
tomorrow,
James.
I am going to think
God
about that.
damn it, what are you doing? What are your key takeaways from RSA this year?
Key takeaways is no matter what the virus is around there, as long as it's not a computer virus, people will still turn up to the RSA show.
Yeah, Corona. Anytime I see someone walking around drinking a Corona beer here, I'm like, has no one gotten the memo?
Actually, and actually, for people of a certain age in the UK, Corona isn't the beer, but Corona was the kind of was the lemonade, the kind of 7-Up in the 70s in the UK.
So, did you see The Simpsons predicted this? Have you guys seen the whole thing of how The Simpsons predicted the coronavirus in 1993?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, where's my phone? You got it? I got to show you this. Well, for those watching, Micah will post-edit this little image that I'm about to show him on here, Micah. Remember that. I love you, Micah. You're amazing. Hang on, where is it? Yeah, I did send it to you yesterday. Yeah, right here. So it's a season 4, episode 21 of The Simpsons. Chinese people throwing up.
Yeah.
Homer freaking out and bleeding from his eyes. And the news reporting the coronavirus.
Whoa. That's amazing.
They predicted Trump as well, right?
They predicted Trump as well, yes.
So, if you want to know what's going to happen,
watch The Simpsons. It's The Simpsons predicted the coronavirus. I wonder where they're going to predict, the next big cybersecurity breach.
Or when the stock market's going to go up.
Wow. Or down.
Well, I think that's tomorrow as well. It's already gone down.
The market has been it's been going up and down.
It's been going down today.
Has it?
Yeah,
But cybersecurity stocks have been going up. All the RSA announcement. We've discovered the next thing to stop every hacker from doing anything.
Yeah, Zero Trust. What was it? Zero Trust?
Zero Trust Next Gen.
Next Gen Zero Trust.
Next Gen DLPs, Next Gen firewalls, Next Gen CDRs, XDRs, BBCs, TDCs, TDPs,
Zero Trust
AWCs.
AI. No trust
I don't
in
know.
AI. I mean,
I was walking through every booth and I kept hearing 3-letter acronyms and I was like, oh my Lord. Stop.
No, what you should say at that point, you kept seeing 3-letter acronyms. You should go OMG.
LMAO.
Yeah, that's 4.
Yeah, but they've got some. They've got stuff going on here.
Yeah.
So, kind of, as we summarize this week, heading into, how do you think the industry is going to go forward from RSA?
I think it's very positive. I think every time you come here, you go away going, oh my God, there's so much going on. Okay, you kind of.
It's a lot to take in.
There's a lot to take in, and there's also so there's a lot of rubbish around. There's a lot of people selling stuff that probably shouldn't be being sold, but
who are we to judge?
We're not to judge. We're just here to.
I think the fact is, if you're a savvy cybersecurity, you realize the products that really aren't worth exploring, and then you know the stuff that's really important.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, as a CISO, I look at key management and go, vital part of my security program. I look at specific threat intel stuff, a crucial part of my security program. I don't like the idea of people saying AI is going to solve everything or automation is going to solve everything.
Nothing solves everything.
Nothing solves everything, but you got to have a little bit of everything, and then you've got to have the right people.
Yeah. And integrate it all together.
Right. I think people, when I buy a security product, I look at the people I'm dealing with. I don't care. I care about the product, but I care more about the people. Because at the end of the day, when I have a problem, it's people I'm dealing with, not the technology.
Yeah. This goal comes back to like this theme of the RSA conference. It's all about the human.
The human
factor.
element, right?
The human element.
Human element, everything. But the one part that they're missing with the human element is the humans aren't problem of security. It's people, process, technology. Let's start addressing people, build the right processes, then have the technology complement people. A lot of times you hear technology, process, people, and you're like,
Yeah.
let's reverse that. And so that's awesome. Well, we're wrapping up here at RSA. People are heading home in their
The booths are coming
corona-infested
down
metal
around us.
tubes. You, how long of a flight is it to Brussels from here?
A long one.
12 hours, 10 hours?
10 hours or something. Yeah.
You hope you got good tailwind.
Yeah. They
So-
broke the
They broke
records last week. with
That
the-
was
with the
British
storm.
Airways. Yeah, that was British Airways. You know, the fascist airline in the fascist UK. Can't believe you called the UK fascist.
Well, you were on this Trump-like television station earlier the week.
On Tuesday, I can't tell you how much hate. I got one guy who started arguing with me on LinkedIn saying, this AI shows you that everything that Trump does is lie. This AI proves it. And I'm like, who wrote the AI? And then he quotes NBC. And I'm like, oh my God. Really? So let me go to my echo chamber.
But you, I mean, come on, you accused the European Union of being a socialist nirvana.
It is. European Union takes away sovereignty from nations.
They pull sovereignty.
No, that's why the British left smartly and
Tell us about your night in Brussels the other year.
oh, my night in Brussels. I can't talk about it on air, man.
I know.
This was an off-air thing. Edit this part out. My wife can't see this. You're getting me in trouble, Nigel. So we're wrapping up here at RSA. I'm just going to say, have a safe trip back. I hope you don't get corona.
Yeah. Well, if I do get corona, I just want the beer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't order Corona beer on your flight. I was telling Micah on the way here as we were flying in, I was like, do you want us to get 1 million followers in like 2 hours? He goes, what do you do? I was like, I'll just start randomly coughing and screaming, Corona, Corona. The plane will do an emergency landing. Everyone will have their phones out. CyberHub Engage, Corona. And we'd get like 1 million followers on our Twitter page. And I'd beat the Cyberwire guys without spending $1 because they had to pass us by paying money on social media. In your face. That's how we do it here. Organic growth.
Organic growth.
That's it for us from RSA. We're wrapping up our coverage, heading over for some last-minute interviews this Thursday. And then this episode that you're watching now was recorded on Thursday as we're wrapping up RSA. Until next year, Nigel, I hope I don't have to wait a year to see you again.
We won't. I think we've got a call at the end of March.
Yes, we do. Until next time, folks, thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you for all your support here while we're at RSA. Have a safe journey home if you're listening to this on your journey home. Wear a mask, sanitize, and most importantly, stay cyber safe and don't use public Wi-Fi.